Doctor. Shielder. Hello? It's me. Adele? Hello, Whovians, and welcome to my latest Doctor Who review, where today I review the 6th episode of Doctor Who Series 9 of the new series, which is the 257th Doctor Who story and stars Peter Capaldi as the 12th Doctor, the woman who lived. Now, technically, like the previous episode, some people consider this to be the second part of the previous episode as a two-part story. Technically, you could put them together and they do kind of make one story, although this is more of a continuation of the previous episode, and according to TARDIS Wiki and a lot of fans, they consider this to be a separate story, a sequel story to the last one, if you like. So that's why I'm reviewing the two episodes separately. This one does not star Clara very much. Clara is very much only in the end of the story, so Maisie Williams as Ashilda, or me, is the guest star of this episode. Adventuring on his own for a while, the Doctor seeks out an artifact of great power that could spell disaster in the wrong hands, the Eyes of Hades. However, he soon comes face to face with consequences of one of his past acts of compassion when he meets an immortal he created, who has now lost all hope with a heart filled with centuries of pain. The Woman Who Lived. Now, this one, as far as I'm aware, gets a bit of a mixed reception amongst the fandom. It's not the most popular story or most popular episode among the Doctor Who fandom. To me, I was watching this going, I don't really know what to make of this one. Okay, so there were some things I liked about it, and I think the acting is very strong here. Drama between the Doctor and Ashilda, or me. I'm not going to call her me because that's just fucking stupid. I'm going to call her Ashilda. The drama between the Doctor and Ashilda was very good, and I liked Maisie Williams. Actually, I think her performance was better in this one. She had a much more emotional character. She was very resentful towards the Doctor of what he did in making her immortal, and he does feel some sense of regret in terms of what she has become. She's become very vengeful, just kind of hate-driven, withdrawn, emotionally cold, because she's even had children that she's lost, and she's lived through centuries and centuries of just pain, and she hasn't seemed to have aged very much either, and she just feels so trapped in this endless life, and you feel for her. Your heart kind of breaks for her. So from an emotional perspective, she's very well written in this story, and I like that angle, and I think Peter Capaldi plays off that very well, and I like Peter Capaldi when he's more dramatic. He doesn't work with comedy for me, but when he's being dramatic, it really sells, and the drama between these two is very engaging to watch. That being said, it does take its time to get going. I feel like this one is a tad bit slow on the startup. There's a lot of talking. It is more character driven. I don't mind that in some ways, but at times it does feel like, come on, Stephen, let's pick up the pace here. As for the villain, it sucks. The lion creature is just awful. It's just really awful. It's probably just as ridiculous as the Candyman. There, I said it. This lion looks like a joke. It looks terrible, and I imagine they were trying to design it in a way that looked a bit more kid-friendly so that the younger audience members had something visual to look at, because apart from that, the visual aesthetic of this story is very grey, it's very muted, it's kind of desaturated. There's nothing vibrant about this story. There's nothing really that exciting about it until the second half of it. The first half of the story is kind of a drag until you get to the sort of climactic hanging sequence where the portal opens and the Eye of Hades is attached to Sam Smith, or whatever his name is, who is then dying, and then they have to use the final, I don't know what you call it, like square box thing that was used on Ashilda in the previous story to bring her back to life, but bring her back forever. But having said that, the climax, while it is certainly the best part of the story, it feels pitched, while the climax is the best part of the story, it's also kind of flawed, because the first part of it, really, there are no stakes. You know, the Doctor's walking in, these cracking jokes with Sam Smith, and then all the stuff with the lion is very, very rushed, very abrupt. And then all they have to do is put the cube onto Sam, and that's it. So it feels kind of rushed, kind of anticlimactic. It doesn't build to very much, and I feel like there's no stake to this story. The emotional drama is fantastic, but the actual narrative is boring, to be honest. It's dull, and I didn't find myself feeling very engaged by it whatsoever. And sorry, just to be clear, Sam Swift, my apologies, I got the name wrong, but Rufus Hound as Sam Swift does a sort of decent job. I mean, the supporting cast, I won't go through all of them, but they all do a fairly decent job with what they have, and the visual effects are quite good. I think the visuals do look great for when they're there, but again, a lot of this story feels too muted for me. It feels a bit lifeless, which is a real shame. And one other thing I have to talk about, and I've already kind of alluded to this, is the fact that Ashilda calls herself me. Yeah, just me. This was clearly Moffat's attempt to be witty and sassy with the female characters. Stephen, with every single female character that you write, you have to make them sassy and kind of spunky and overconfident and cocky. You don't have to have her be self-indulgent and call herself me. It's just so pretentious. Stephen, you don't need to do this. I'm sorry, I just find it infuriating. The guy can't write female characters as well as male characters. Although that being said, Maisie Williams is fantastic in this story. I think she has a fantastic performance. It's much more emotional than it was the first time round in the previous episode. And her chemistry with Capaldi is great. If she was to become a companion, I think it could have worked very well. It would have been a nice dynamic. And maybe this would have been the point to sort of introduce her as a new companion, especially as the character's immortal. But then, does that add any stakes to the story? Like I said, Peter Capaldi is a good Doctor. He's not my favourite Doctor, and he never will be. But in this story, I just appreciate the fact that when he goes dramatic and dark, it sells. Like, I believe that this guy is a guy who is very mysterious and has a lot of demons that he doesn't want to unleash. And he does bear some guilt and some emotional regret to what he's done. It was not his intention to trap this girl in an endless life. And in a way, it kind of harks back to Captain Jack from the earlier series, where Captain Jack was unintentionally brought back to life and brought back forever. So I like the fact that we're kind of using the immortality idea in a different context here. Playing it from the emotional angle was the best way to do it. And I'm all for a character-driven story. I think in some ways having a more character drama-based episode is fantastic. But when you're going to have a villain as silly as this lion, it's hardly worth it for me. And again, the slow pace, I found this one a bit of a struggle to get through. I'm not going to lie to you. So my overall kind of lingering thoughts on this one is that it's all right. It's not too bad, but it could be a lot better. So my rating for the story is going to be a 6 out of 10. I'll give it a pass. It's fine, but don't expect anything masterful. With that, we go back onto the two-part format for this series, because Series 9 is mostly two-parters for some reason, with the Zygon Invasion / the Zygon Inversion. So please comment down below, let me know what you think of this story, and stay tuned next time when I review the Zygon Invasion and the Zygon Inversion. So until then, I'm Pajak's Perspective. See ya. Bye for now.